Hello, everyone, and welcome to LabGab, a live stream variety show that showcases events, destinations, and different talents across Second Life. I'm your host, Strawberry Linden. Today on our show, we have the organizer of the International Day of Happiness event in Second Life, which is happening tomorrow. So I wanted to welcome you. Welcome to the show, Faust. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on LiveGab.
It's a pleasure to have you. We are at the venue. I just kind of want to mention that of where the event takes place, and wanted to quickly show that. And I do have a lot of questions about the event. I'm going to ask you those a little bit later on. But before we get into talking
Sure.
about that, I have actually a quick few questions about you, because you do quite a lot for happiness promotion in Second Life and also in the physical world. So, how long have you been a Second Life resident, and what keeps you logging in?
A little over 13 years, and I started because I had an interest in volunteerism and philanthropy. And the then president of the MacArthur Foundation, I heard, was giving a talk in Second Life, and that was just too irresistible. And I decided to create an account and get in here. And what keeps me logging in is doing this positive change, Positivity Matters project here
Mm-hmm.
in Second Life. And during the pandemic in RL, I've been learning how to play guitar, and I've
Oh.
tried a few open mics in Second Life. So
Fun. That sounds. Are you
yeah,
playing tomorrow at the event?
wasn't planning on it. If there's any no shows, I guess I can.
Looking forward to it. That should be exciting. So you mentioned Positivity Matters. What is that, and why did you start it?
Yeah, so it's a project I started that has as a mission increasing community well-being by strengthening positive mental health. So
Nice.
everything's based on positive psychology, the empirical study of human flourishing. And for me, it began out of gratitude for some positive experiences I had in life. Those began around 2006 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have I would say, a cynical mindset and a harsh inner critic. I felt a lot of loneliness and meaninglessness, and I would describe that as the languishing end of positive.
Oh no, you're cutting out
And
for us. Can you say that part again?
again, it's um, positive mental, the languishing. I felt like I was languishing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like a low sense of meaningfulness and a sense of loneliness. And I found positive psychology in 2006 or so and got into a recovering alcoholic. So both of those things coming into my life had a profoundly transformative effect. And I kind of felt like I'd been blind before that to what was good about myself and other people. And one of the ideas in recovery is to pass it on and to strive to be a maximum service to others. And so one of the ideas that I had was to try to sort of pass on what I'd experienced and what I'd learned about moving from languishing to flourishing. And I wanted to be able to figure out a way to do that, to be of assistance to anyone, whether they were in recovery or not. And so this Positivity Matters, that was like just the name that I thought might fit it. And so uh, and not just for people that are languishing, but also if you already have high well-being, it's like you can share that with others. And is there really an upper limit of awesomeness? Is kind of how I see it now. So
Well, it's a very compassionate project, I have to say, and I love learning more about it. So, what does it mean to you to live a happy life?
that is for me sort of an idea, and it's also an acronym. So there's a happy life. It stands for health, so physical and mental health,
Mm-hmm.
aesthetic experience, or like natural and created beauty. SL, you could say, is basically a world of created beauty.
Absolutely.
To me, it is
Yes.
pleasure, play. So games, sport, humor, creativity, life itself, the web of life, information or knowledge, friendship, and engagement, the way that we pursue those other happy life elements. So for my friend Roxy, she made a nice poster up here.
I see that.
We sort of played it out a little bit and put young at heart for the Y. I had kind of like a wonky capitalized Y on play. And so the effect, hopefully, is we remain young at heart. So, yeah. So that's kind of my take on a happy life.
I like it. Too bad we can't get chocolate and coffee in there. But those are things that make me happy.
Ooh, that definitely is the most important part of the pleasure category, I would say.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They do fit in there. Very, very true. So to kind of bring this into Second Life, regularly you hold a positive change circle. Can you tell us more about what that is?
Yeah, so this is about getting together with other folks and spending some time in reflection, learning, and prospection about well-being. It's a pretty easy thing to do. You can do this with family, friends at work, or here in Second Life. And so it usually takes about an hour with maybe 5 people or so. And you just start with the question, what went well lately? And for bonus points, you can add a Y onto that and pass that question around the circle. And then for the middle part, whoever's hosting picks a topic from Happy Life, one of those elements, or one of the sub elements in one of those areas, and does a little reflection on that and comes up with a question that relates to the theme. Then you pass that question around the circle. And then the final sharing is the question, what is a goal you would be willing to share about? So the first part with the what went well, people tend to answer that in one of 2 ways. Either something good happened to them, and that kind of cultivates gratitude over time to reflect on that. And then, or if you went to the one last week, your goal, you may have had some growth towards accomplishing it, and you might want to share about that. And then the middle part is just to keep strengthening positive mental health. And then the final part with talking about goals, that's to cultivate a sense of hope over time. So yeah, that's the gist of it. So I host one myself here in Second Life. I host one in real life, which is here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Side note, Lincoln was the happiest city in the U.S. in 2012. So
wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
I don't know which one it is now, but I know the World Happiness Report just came out today, and Finland is the happiest country. So if anyone's listening from Finland, there's more. You kept your happiest country title again in 2020.
Spread the happiness around, especially this time of what's going on in the world. I know it's affecting a lot of people and their mental health. So definitely need a lot of positive energy all over the world. So this is the Positive Change Circle, is like a discussion group, and it happens in Second Life on Sundays. Is it every Sunday? Yeah.
I host one on Sundays at 3 p.m. and if you have a group of folks and that would like to have one at some other time, I'd be happy to talk about that.
Awesome. So if you guys look in the description of the video, I have a destination link for the Positive Change Circle, and you can come on Sunday and join the discussion group with Faust and the others. And I think it's a great little project that you have, and I hope it keeps going, and would be great to even have more of these kinds of discussions. So the topic that we are on today is actually the International Day of Happiness, the UN International Day of Happiness, which is tomorrow, March 20th, all over the world. And you decided to hold an event in Second Life to kind of commemorate this day. So can you tell us more about what gave you the idea to hold it in Second Life?
Yeah, well, it was kind of just seeing the progression of this field of research on well-being over time. And one of the goals of the United Nations, one of the Sustainable Development Goals, is health and well-being. And they started this, I believe they had a resolution in 2012, and the first one was in 2013. A little historical context: the very first conference in positive psychology took place in 1999 in nowhere other than Lincoln, Nebraska. So it didn't take too long for it to become a thing that became global. And yeah, so I did a little something that very first year in 2013, and then I've tried to do something as far as like creating some kind of community event for it every year. I haven't been able to do it every year, but that's my goal. So yeah, I thought let's do it in Second Life this year with the pandemic and all going on.
So this is the first time you're doing it in Second Life?
Yes,
Nice.
that is the case.
So
yes.
I am going to cam around the venue a little bit. Can you tell us more about the event and what is the itinerary? This is actually the location where it's going to be happening tomorrow, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start out the morning with a set of presentations. So we'll go over Happy Life again. And then my friend Tay has had some interesting experiences with several tools for building well-being, acceptance and commitment therapy. And there's research on hope. And my dear friend Lynn Barrett, aka Wisdom Seeker, who has a fantastic area where I actually hosts a Positive Change Circle, Whole Brain Health. We'll talk about that. Shyla, the super gecko, is going to read some poetry for us at 10.
Love
And
that.
then we've got some music at 10:30. Fly is going to be playing her violin.
Ooh.
I made my friend Orion Walsh is a musician here in Lincoln, Nebraska. He's a rather awesome folk singer. He's here. For my English and German listeners, he'd rather be on tour over there right now, but not happening yet. But
Yeah.
so he's stuck here in Lincoln, and he's gonna come over and he'll play from 11 to 11:30. My friend Cheryl Ann Hawk, who has been helping my friend Eclectic with this Love Train project, which is to spread love and compassion around the world. She'll be playing at 11:30. At noon, Maven is going to play. She's got an hour. She may have the whole hour. I said she could bring some friends if she wants to dual stream. So maybe a surprise, maybe Maven. I love an hour of Maven. And then my friend Belana from Whole Brain Health, they have a fun project where they write little short plays.
Oh.
And then they read them. So there's a group, they're going to read a few plays at 1. And then in the afternoon session, we have Ming Fu with an app called Uvita, which is to increase well-being. At 2, Cheryl is going to be talking about values. She wrote a book on values and created a fantastic tool. And then at 2:30, it is Julie Rusk. She was the director of a well-being project in Santa Monica, California, which is a great example of where I hope to see well-being go eventually, which is, I think this positive change circle idea can take place, in every nook and cranny of a community, whether it's your faith community or here in Second Life or in your neighborhood or at a coffee shop or anything. I think that can have a boost at a community level or a neighborhood level. And so my hope is that communities sort of get into measuring well-being maybe annually or so. And so Julie did this in Santa Monica, California, and they actually got a sense of what well-being looked like down to the neighborhood level. And so, and they're sharing what they discovered with other communities around the world. And yeah, then we'll wrap at 3, may share a little bit more. The conversation will probably just continue from there.
Sounds wonderful. Really diverse set of presenters and kind of entertainment you have going on there. I feel like it's something that people can stay for the whole day and just chill and socialize and relax with everybody. Really looking forward to that. Once again, I want to remind everybody, if you look in the description of the YouTube video, you'll find links, the destination links for this event, as well as the website, which has all of the itinerary as well that Faust was just talking about. So like you said earlier that you plan to make this an annual event going forward in Second Life, hopefully. So we'll see it again next year, maybe?
Yes, I may, depending on what day it falls. Sometimes if it's during the week, I can imagine having one in Second Life during the week, and then hopefully by next year I'll be able to do the real life version here in Lincoln, Nebraska too, on whichever weekend falls closest, probably.
So how can residents get involved with these kind of events and community outreach programs that you have going with Positivity Matters? What can they do to, volunteer or get more involved with it?
Well, in the immediate future, if you are one who has the know-how to stream from Second Life, maybe to come record the event, live stream / record the event. So yeah. I'm still growing in my Second Life skills. So that'd be awesome if there's anyone out there. Yeah.
You're looking for a live streamer like we're doing right now, or live streaming somebody to live stream this event to your YouTube channel or something, right? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be an immediate kind of thing. And then in Second Life, I've got a group I call it Positive Change. So there's a Positive Change group, and if you'd like to join, I made one for the International Day of Happiness as well. Mm-hmm. You can come try the Positive Change Circle, and like we mentioned earlier, if you think if it's something you enjoy, I'd be happy to help you get one started with some other groups you're involved in Second Life or your real life. And to people listening who may be in leadership positions out there, please consider measuring well-being in your organization or community and bringing in tools that can help strengthen it. One example right here locally is the Tao of Linden.
Yes.
This is a fantastic statement on their about page at lindenlab.com. And the closing is settle for nothing less than changing the world for the better. Yes. So we have an aligned vision. Positivity Matters is also an idea, and that is to strengthen your positive mental health and share your journey with others. One way to start that journey is to try a Strengthsfinder. This is through the Values in Action Institute. They have a website, www.viacharacter.org. You can try that with your friends, and then maybe a first practice might be imagine what it would be like to see the world through the lens of their strengths, and talk with your friends about what it's like to have their strengths. It's kind of interesting once you have a sense of what other people's top strengths are. And really what this tool does is it gives you sort of a customized positive mental health recipe. What it does is it ranks these 24 different universal strengths that everyone has to some degree or another, mm-hmm. by how much subjective well-being they bring you personally. And so the idea is to focus on the ones that you're already good at as sort of your sure source of sort of positive mental energy and boosting your well-being. So that's the gist behind that.
So you had me do the test earlier today.
Yeah. So if you'd like, Strawberry, I see your top strengths are love of learning, fairness, appreciation of beauty and excellence, and honesty.
Wow.
And I was wondering, how do you see those strengths playing out through your work in this world?
Honestly, I was kind of amazed at how accurate it was, because I think those words really do describe how I am as an individual. One thing that they emailed me once I did the test was they basically said that my top, how do they phrase it? They said that my top strength is love, which means that I put someone else's needs equal to or above my own, and I take pleasure from that. And I was like, it was very accurate, because that's pretty much how I've lived most of my life. How it comes into play with my work just at Linden Lab, I would say, I'm not sure, but if you look at all the traits that I got love of learning, fairness, appreciation of beauty and excellence. I think people can see that with my work on my blog before I became a Linden, and now what especially when it comes to the arts. I'm very interested in all of that, and I think that kind of shows in what I share. I'm the social media manager here, so it kind of it shows what I'm sharing on the socials, and I also try to be fair and show, kind of showcase everybody as much as I can, and I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Am I going the right direction? I'm trying to analyze. It's hard to analyze yourself, honestly, because you don't really think about it. You just do things,
Yeah, and that's kind of the gist of it. It's like, I mean, my hope is that everyone already has like good positive mental health, that they're not languishing. Yeah. But it's like that's kind of the sort of the compassionate end of things would be like helping people to get out of that place of languishing. And I think the strengths are a good way to sort of get started on that. And I see there's a lot of like sort of philosophical scholarship on well-being, and so like the happy life categories are sort of reflective of the philosophical side. So just creating some categories by which to sort of slice up the research and say this one kind of emphasizes this and this, and then those are real general categories. But then like to take strengths maybe as a starting point, and then to think like maybe even further, like so this is like an external thing outside of ourselves, a Strengthsfinder. Mm-hmm. But then like in our own heart, what is it? What is our value? And I came across a way of describing values that I really like, and that's chosen qualities of being and doing. So for example, like on the Strengthsfinder, mine came out as the curiosity as my top one, then zest, humor, appreciate. That one, I think one of their sub descriptions was playfulness. Mm-hmm. So I feel pretty playful, and I just think that I'm funny.
You are.
And then so for example, for me it would be something like how come koalas aren't considered bears?
I'm kind of lost. What do you mean?
They don't meet the qualifications. So that's like an example of humor to me. So
I didn't realize you were telling me a joke. I'm like, are we analyzing something?
Yeah, no.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Anyway, I've seen a few people have done stand up in Second Life. That's been really fun.
I have heard that there are like comedy places in Second Life where people go and do stand up, and I really want to go to one one time because I think that would be so much fun. Because I feel like when you're in a virtual world, you're kind of more, for me anyways, in my case, that you're more freer to express yourself, maybe because of without any kind of societal restrictions or so forth that we have in the physical world. So I would love to catch like a comedy show or something in a virtual world. I think that would be very interesting for sure.
Yeah. So it'll be a long road before I ever do that. Anyways, maybe the guitar will be first. We'll see. So humor, and then appreciation of beauty and excellence, and hope as my fifth one. And I've done this probably half a dozen times, and I've had the curiosity and appreciation of beauty and excellence show up like every single time. So I think those ones are like set deep.
Yeah.
And the others, I think they kind of like fluctuate based on what's going on in your life. But then, so taking our strengths sort of as a starting point, and then it's like, what do you affirm yourself? Like, what would you affirm regardless of whether some test said this or that? And for me, it's, my big value, I would say, is to try to turn all this well-being research into positive community experiences. Another one is treat yourself and others like you would a good friend.
Right.
Another one I have is use your strengths to help others. Use their strengths to help others. Use their strengths to help others. And that goes on ad infinitum potentially.
Right.
Another one I have is don't let the good life get in the way of a better life. Always be manifesting your values. And so that's kind of like core values. And one of the things from the well-being research that's suggested is to sort of like reflect on our values, especially when life hits you sideways, and that doing so is a way of sort of giving yourself a little bit of a buffer. And I would say another big idea is positive mental health is something that I think we can cultivate regardless of the stresses and challenges and whatever else is going on in life. And hopefully it helps us to face all those even better. I don't think it directly solves any problems to increase our positive mental health, but I think it gives us like greater resilience to be able to deal with the challenges that life throws at us.
And hope. I think hope is the biggest thing right now, especially with the pandemic and the state of the world these days. I think it's important to have hope and kind of be there for each other. So I think this is the perfect timing to bring this kind of event to light in every world, not just the physical world. So I'm so glad that you're doing that. And again, I just want to reiterate that the last question was how can residents get involved? So you can come to the event tomorrow, join the groups that he mentioned, and come to the Sunday discussion groups that you have for the Positive Change Circle, and just I guess they can reach out to you directly as well, right? If they want to.
Yeah. Also, another thing. There's one of my first ways of trying to, I guess, give back was becoming an administrator on the Positive Psychology group on Facebook, and that has, at the time, it had about 300 people in it or so when I joined in 2006, I believe. And I had tried helping out with a few other groups and was offering suggestions. And they asked, well, do you just want to be an admin on this? And so I said yes. And then sort of like tighten things up in the group. So no more ads for Ray-Ban sunglasses, sneakers. And
right.
It started to grow. There's like 130 some odd thousand people that have like joined this over time. Yeah. So that's kind of been a fun ride. So I just try to keep my nose in the research and post the interesting things I see and keep
Do you have a link
to
that group from your Positivity Matters website? People can click over and find the group from there somewhere.
Oh, I can add it there. Yeah, I'll add it on the International Day of Happiness page.
Okay, great. Yeah. So people can join the groups. I have the link to the website there. Check out that you guys have a Facebook page. You're on Twitter. All the links are on the website, so you guys can follow them and get more involved. Thank you so much, Faust. I almost called you by your real name. Sorry. But it's been a pleasure, and I'm so excited. Oh, great. You gave me the link. Let me just share that in the YouTube chat so people can join that. I'm going to share the group that he's talking about on Facebook, the link there. And thank you. Did you want to say anything else to the viewers? I'm going to wrap it up. We're nearing the end of the show.
Yeah, I would say just to keep building your positive mental health, and it's that idea that it's something that doesn't really have an upper limit, and if it's already really high, please consider being willing to share that good positive energy that you have with other people that might not be there yet. And I guess that's really, to me, what it's all about. And it's awesome that all this philosophy and science is there to like be a boost in that process. So
amazing. Well, it's very noble what you're doing. I love it. I love spreading the positive energy everywhere. So I'm so happy, and I'm going to try to come to the event. I don't know if I'll be able to make it for the whole day, but I'll try to drop by for sure. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Faust. It's been so great to have you on and to learn about all your amazing projects that you're working on. And thank you to our viewers for watching. Keep an eye on our Second Life community blogs for future updates about LabGab. And remember, stay safe, stay home, stay virtual. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for having me on, Strawberry.
Absolutely. A pleasure.